The Code of Conduct in the South China Sea is among the mechanisms eyed by Southeast Asian nations and China to resolve disputes. But as the COC negotiations have dragged on for years, President Bongbong Marcos explores the possibility of another code with fellow ASEAN claimants.
We are still waiting for the Code of Conduct between China and ASEAN. And the progress has been rather slow, unfortunately. And so we've taken the initiative to approach those other countries around ASEAN with whom we have existing territorial conflicts, Vietnam being one of them, Malaysia being another.
But this early, China rejects the idea of having another code among Southeast Asian countries. In a statement, the Chinese Foreign Ministry says any COC outside the one being negotiated will be null and void. This year, ASEAN member states and China agreed to accelerate the negotiations for the Code of Conduct in the South China Sea in Indonesia. 10 ASEAN member states need to agree with all the terms in the code with varying national interests in mind. 4 are considered to be primary claimants, namely the Philippines, Malaysia, Brunei, and Vietnam. But this is not an all-ASEAN undertaking because the negotiations need to consider another major party, China. Experts say there is nothing wrong if the Philippines will pursue a new agreement with Malaysia and Vietnam.
We can really coordinate much more rapidly yung pagkakaroon ng consensus between ASEAN claimants themselves because by going together, may strengthen po yung kanilang collective bargaining power versus China.
It's not a condition that is explicitly considered illegal or unjustified based on the DOC to create and ensure peace, stability in the maritime domain. So this really shouldn't be an issue to begin with.
May effect siya in terms of norm building, but more broadly in terms of binding China to this COC. Baka ang mangyari po is baka ma-disregard lang po yan ulit ng China.
How willing will China be to act as a responsible neighbor for the betterment and the peace of the Western Pacific?
Beijing also opposed the statement made by President Marcos accusing them of constructing structures in the South China Sea. In another statement, China says other countries have no right to stop their construction activities in their own territory. Last week, the Foreign Affairs Department demanded that China remove illegal structures in the South China Sea. Tristan Nodalo, CNN Philippines.